Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Big win for Liverpool against Arsenal, and it had some good opinions, didn't it, in the studio off the back of it. This is what Paul Merson and Jamie Carragher had to say after the game.
Nothing's really changed. Liverpool got to win every game.
Paul has changed.
They've still got to win every game this season. They've still got to win every game.
Prior to Monday, that's a big change. Monday and tonight.
You know what? They're still 1 point and they're playing Liverpool at home. You know, let's not forget
changed.
Because they've still got to win every game. It's not like we're sitting there and we're going, oh, they drew 0-0, but never looked like scoring in a month of Sundays. This team can reel off 8 wins on the trot like that. And I mean like that. And they can do it again.
It is 50-50, if you like, because of the situation with, the game is at the Etihad. I just think the reason I said at the end of the game, this is the first time I've ever felt Liverpool could win the league at any time this season. I've always said City from before a ball was kicked. That Chelsea game 2-2, when Liverpool then, after that game, found themselves 11 points behind Manchester City. And Graham, to be fair, on that day was the only one in the studio who said Liverpool is still in this race. I thought it was well gone. But the reason I say Liverpool is the first time I felt they win, I just feel the signing of Diaz, and not just him as an individual, what it's done to Liverpool. What Liverpool brought off the bench is much better than when the year they won the Champions League, the year they won the league. Now they're actually bringing not better players on, but if someone's having a poor game, someone's going to come on and improve Liverpool from the bench. That's a massive difference that this team has never had.
Yeah, so interesting thoughts there. Yeah. There's the net again, because we can confirm this is the up-to-date Premier League table. So apologies, Man City fans, if you got a bit excited about the last table. This is how it stands, 1 point, as we can see. Specs, we're going to talk about what Jamie Carragher and Merson were sort of debating there first. But firstly, your team, Arsenal, losing at home to Liverpool. Big win for Liverpool, that, wasn't it? What did you make of the game?
Yeah, that was I thought Arsenal were unlucky. We had chances in that game. But again, the quality of Liverpool... just shows why
so clinical, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so clinical. It just shows why, they're pushing City to the wire.
Yeah.
But I've seen this before. I've seen Liverpool be a point behind City, but City and they go all the way. It was like 2-3 years ago.
It's the maintaining. It's the momentum.
It's 2 years ago, and they just kept winning. Both teams kept winning.
Both teams kept winning. So I think both teams can not lose to the end of the season.
Well, they can't because they got to play each other. So at some stage, one of them's going to have to lose. But I also thought in that game, Arsenal-Liverpool, the ability, like Jamie Carragher said then, the substitutions really changed the game. In that one, you could see the level of substitutions. To be able to bring on Salah and Roberto Firmino, I think
that's a game changer, isn't it?
It's just unbelievable. And that's something that they haven't necessarily had before, Liverpool. That's what Jamie was saying there. Do you agree with him?
I think what it comes down to is one slip-up from either team, or the big Liverpool City match. Because there's a statistic, Liverpool away from home this season have scored 2+ goals in 19 out of 22. So when they go to the Etihad and get in their face, how can they respond? It's
an interesting point, Specs saying. I know you're talking about the season, I think it was 3 seasons back, wasn't it, when there was only a point in it and they both kept winning, and obviously City ended up lifted. It's the Vincent Kompany year, wasn't it, against Leicester and all that. So we've seen both teams do it. We'll talk about Man City in a bit. I wanted to talk about Liverpool and the options they have, because a lot of people are saying about the options that they have up top. We've got to talk about Luis Diaz, because Jamie Carragher mentioned there. How impressed have you been? We all knew that he was a good player, but how quickly he's adapted to the new league. Because the competition for places where he plays for Liverpool, he's got some of the best players in the league alongside him or competing for, but he just looks to hit the ground running, doesn't he? He's been brilliant.
Smithy, it's from the get-go. The first minute he came on for Liverpool, he looked like he was designed for that front three. He fit in perfectly. He has got a great understanding of all his teammates. I think he's an amazing signing. And it makes you think, Mo Salah, contract negotiations, players coming in, they're creating options now. They've got backups. This is part of the reason Liverpool will continue to be dominant, and they have to invest like that. Find players like Luis Diaz and other positions who will instantly get into that team and become a regular, who are younger. Luis Diaz, 26? Most of their players are aging about 29 and 30. So it's the perfect sort of market they should be looking for in other positions going forward.
Konate's been a little bit similar. When Matip's dropped out, or Van Dijk's had to have a few games out, then Konate has just slotted in like he's been there for years. Absolutely brilliant centre-back. They've got similar depth in the midfield as well. So I think, although we've been really praising the forwards, I think the rest of Liverpool's depth has been very impressive.
Underrated.
How important is that depth, do you think? It's a good point, that, in terms of the title race and the fact that they're both competing on so many fronts, potential of injuries, suspensions. That depth is incredibly important, isn't it? Because Jamie Carragher mentioned that. He says it's for the first time they've got like for like off the bench now. As Liverpool, for many years, have always had a strong 11, but people have always said, but Man City have got stronger depth in squad. But we're seeing now Liverpool, the bench they've got real options, haven't they?
Yeah, because I remember when Van Dijk got injured.
Yeah.
And we all said, like, they're out of it. And it was tough for them. But definitely, it's key because, you know, again, these injuries can come along at any time. They're playing so many games.
Well, we saw how many injuries Liverpool have had in the past, haven't they, and how it has affected them. Should we chat Man City then? I wanted to ask you about the striker conundrum at Manchester City. Obviously, heavily linked with Kane in the summer. There's reports about Haaland now that we saw recently on social media. Pep gets asked it all the time about the out-and-out number 9. It's worth pointing out they've got a lot of forward options, but do you think they will pay the price in terms of not making that signing, or do you look at the options they've got and think they've got so many options that they're still going to lift silverware and a lot of it at the end of the season?
Difficult, right? Because they're waiting for the right option. Haaland and Kane is the level City should wait for to get the right price. However, you speak about the numbers that goes into a deal like Erling Braut Haaland with his agent and Borussia Dortmund. It's very difficult. I've heard recently that it might have been broken down because it's just too much. That doesn't surprise me. Why should City go and buy a player who's not on the top level? So I say continue to wait around until you get Haaland or Kane for a good price. City have proven that they can do without. That's why they're top of the Premier League. That's why they're 1 point. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Everyone's saying, oh, they've got to run off for a number 9.
And it's not like they don't score goals. They score a lot of goals as well, incidentally.
That's why they're favourites for the Champions League. They're favourites for the Premier League. I back them. I think they're going to win the Champions League this year.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who do you think they need a striker, firstly? And if so, Specs, who would you bring in? If you're the man at City, if you're Pep, who'd you bring in, if anyone?
I mean, Haaland that's unfair.
Yeah, it is.
That's unfair. Harry Kane, that's unfair. But I'd bring in Kane or Haaland, but like you said, because City are doing it without a striker. I mean, you've got João Cancelo, their fullback, that's scoring goals. Yeah. So maybe your striker is at fullback.
You think play Cancelo for in the middle?
Do it.
Yeah,
basically plays there, right?
I do agree with Pep though. Whenever I see this, and he's always like, "You're going to say to me when we drop a point, do you miss a striker?" Yeah. When throughout the rest of the season, the Champions League, they're going into Portugal and bopping Sporting 5-0. Nobody's going.
Champions League.
They do need a striker, though, don't they? It only ever gets brought up when they.
And they're winning a lot of games, 3-0, 4-0. I mean, 5-0 in the Champions League games. It's not like they're struggling for goals.
That Palace game, on another day, it's 5-0 City.
Yeah,
they had the chances.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to have an off day. They had that once in a season, and everyone's, they need a striker now.
Yeah, I wanted to pick you up on that, actually, because a lot of people are talking about Liverpool now have the momentum. Obviously, Liverpool have been in great form, don't get me wrong at all. But are we forgetting that Man City, momentum-wise, have been pretty good as well? Man City have only lost once in 19 games in all competitions. So, although Liverpool have got a lot of momentum, it's not like Man City haven't, is it?
It's crazy, really. It's just talk, because when it comes down to a Premier League title race and there's only 1 point in it, no one can afford to have any more slip-ups. So people are just looking for their prediction, which is going to have the next one. And it's easy to say City, because Liverpool are behind. They're the underdog story. They're not the favourites right now, and they haven't had a recent slip-up like the Palace game. But like you said, if both teams continue in the form they are and they draw the match at Etihad, City win it.
Should we have a look at the remaining fixtures then? Because you mentioned slip-ups then. Let's have a look at the remaining fixtures for both sides. Now, there's a lot to take in on this graphic.
Concentrate, guys, because we're going to be quizzing on this.
There's a lot to take in on this graphic. I'll come to you, Specs. When you look at these two, let's take April the 10th out of it, because obviously they're playing each other. Where do you see Manchester City's potential banana skins? Because that run of fixtures, for me, towards the back end of the season, I think suits Man City quite a lot. They do tend to blow away a lot of the lower half, middling table teams, don't they? Is there any potential banana skins for you in there?
No, I can't. Unless Leeds get those FIFA goals they got against Wolves, I can't see it.
What about West Ham away on May the 15th? Because, West Ham might still be pushing for top 4, but they might also have Europa League there, and then City traditionally go well at the London Stadium, don't they? They had that amazing record where they was scoring about 10 goals a game against West Ham at the London Stadium.
I mean, if West Ham have playing Thursday before that, City will be ready for them. I think for me, City will beat every team, including Liverpool.
You think City will get maximum points from all of them, including Liverpool?
Yes.
Wow.
That would be some going from this point out.
Sterling will be involved.
Let's have a look at the Liverpool side of things then. They've got a slightly tougher fixture list, potentially, given they've still got to play United, they've still got to play Tottenham.
Merseyside derby as well in there.
Wolves in there.
But may I just say, if City are going to lose a game, it's like a Palace. at Etihad, they lost at home. So they do slip up in matches. I see Leeds away on April the 30th. I've just got a weird feeling that Marsh is going to cause a madness.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But I think overall, of course, City have the easy
Luke Ayling
games.
with the cartwheels again.
Yeah, Luke Ayling, little cartwheel. Maybe a better attempt this time. Yeah. I think Liverpool win the Prem. I have a funny feeling. Because they'll want it more. And City, Champions League, they haven't done it yet. Their focus will be there.
But Liverpool could be on for a treble at that stage. So you're saying that Liverpool are going to write off a potential treble because they're going to want it more?
Yeah, I can't see one team winning both the Premier League and Champions League. I see one each. English dominance, by the way. It's great to see. But I do think it will fall City's way for Europe and the Premier League over to Liverpool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Specs, your fixtures, you said that you think City will win every single game.
Yeah.
So do you think that's just down to their brilliance? So I haven't asked you who has the nicer set of fixtures there. Do you think they've got the nice set of fixtures, or are you just saying that because of how good they are?
I still think they've got players like Sterling that they've got to have a say. Sterling has to have a say. So I think their brilliance and players coming off the bench, I think City will do it.
How many points do you think Liverpool will take from their fixtures then? If you're saying City going to win everything, do you think Liverpool win all theirs except City? Do you think it's going to go down to the wire?
No, I think Tottenham. There's Man United. I think those.
Don't worry about United. United ain't going to Anfield again. Anything.
But you never know with Man United. You never know.
I do.
You never know.
You never know with Man United or Spurs, really, do you?
But I think they're tricky. I think Man United, Tottenham, for Liverpool are tricky.
Yeah, they've got a Merseyside derby in there as well, although traditionally have such an amazing record, don't they, against Everton.
But can we just say, Everton need the points to stay up.
Yeah, but against Liverpool, they've got such a terrible record against Liverpool. Liverpool always win the Merseyside derby, don't they? So we're clarifying then, you're going Liverpool, you're going Man City.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Go on, Specs, elaborate on City, go on.
Yeah, I'm going. I first thought Dead Heat, for the first time ever, we'll have two... We can share the title, that's what I thought, but no, I'm going to...
I've got to pick up on that. For the first time ever, Dead Heat, I mean, so that's... What happens in Specs' world then?
Well, so basically, both teams finish on the same points.
Yes.
Right, we get to the...
Goal difference, with everything.
We had the goal difference before, the Aguero was goal difference win.
Yeah, but he's saying...
There's no goal difference. There's the goal...
Said it's the same goal difference.
This is my world, yeah?
Okay.
Same points. Both teams have... both captains holding one...
It's impossible. Sure.
One blue, one red ribbon.
One
blue, one red ribbon, yeah.
Amazing.
I like that.
Amazing.
So you're
First time ever.
Just clarify, Man City, Liverpool, and your reasoning for Liverpool is that they're going to want it more. Do you think now, I'm going to ask you a bit of a hypothetical, but if you were to offer Liverpool the Premier League and Man City the Champions League, do you think both managers would go, I'll take that deal right now?
I reckon they would. And I think that's what it comes down to, underlying in their heart. What do they want more? Manchester City, we know they haven't won that European trophy yet. And I just believe Pep, in the back of his mind, wants to tick that off. When he looks back at his career, he's done the Premier League many times with City, but he can't say the same about that glorious European trophy. This
might be a silly question, because obviously Man City are higher up. They've obviously the games at home. But in terms of where you'd rather be now, would you rather be... Because I've heard pundits who've been in title races say it's better to be the underdog chasing it, right, like mentally, psychologically. Where would you rather be, Specs? At the top with the extra points, with the game at home, or would you rather be chasing where the pressure's off you slightly?
No, at the top.
Yeah, for sure.
At the top, isn't it?
They even interviewed Andy Robertson, and he even said, look, we'd rather be the team with 1 point extra.
Yeah.
Because everyone's trying to bring up momentum and form, but like you said, City have only messed up like one game in 16 or something ridiculous like
Especially
that.
When you're challenging,
one in 19.
They've lost, yeah.
Especially when you're challenging for... Both of these sides are challenging for a potential treble here.
Yeah.
But, I think you really want every...
Quadruple for Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, quadruple for Liverpool, absolutely. Do you think that's out of both of their reaches then? I know you said you'll think one will win the Champions League, one will win the Prem. Do you think a treble is possible? Could we see a repeat of 99?
Is the team as good as 99? Joe, I'll ask you.
Definitely. I think so.
Wow.
Really?
I really do, yeah. I think Manchester City have consistently shown that they can put up 90 to 95 points every single season under Pep.
Wow.
And for me, I think that side is as good as the treble-winning side.
And that's coming from Man United
I know they
as well.
stumbled in a Champions League final, but this Manchester City team this season stands as good a shot as I've ever seen of winning a treble, I think. And you can say the same for Liverpool.
If City do a treble without a striker, then next year every team should get rid of a striker. And just